flow of seafarers on board and ashore.
An indication of knowing why people left.
The president is Philippine also, and the other.
Something will happen to Greece. Thenamaris to employ women. Yet, I have a dream.
Πρόκειται για ένα workshop που έγινε με μία σειρά από panelists, speakers από την Ελληνική Ναυτιλιακή αγορά, που εξειδικεύονται στο crew management. Αυτό έγινε στα πλαίσια του μαθήματος HR in shipping, όπου διδάσκουμε τη θεωρία και θέλαμε να δούμε και την πράξη. Αντιλαμβανόμενοι βέβαια τις ανάγκες και τα challenges που βιώνει αυτή τη στιγμή το crew management στην Ελλάδα και παγκοσμίως λόγω ποικιλίας παραγόντων, έλλειψης κονδυλίων, έλλειψης δυναμικού αριθμού ικανών και qualified ναυτικών, και θέλαμε να δούμε πώς θα αντιμετωπίζουν οι ναυτιλιακές εταιρείες. Και είχαμε ένα δείγμα από μικρές, μεσαίες και μεγάλες, με μια ευρεία και στον τύπο των πλοίων, από bulk carriers που θεωρούνται τα πιο απλά, μέχρι τα πολύ specialized LNG, LPG.
Κύριε Υπουργέ, βλέπω ότι όντως, το που η κυρία Προβουλάκη, ότι είχατε μια ανταπόκριση από ομιλητές από established εταιρείες του χώρου, μεγάλες, μικρές. Αυτό δείχνει ότι υπάρχει μια επαφή των εταιρείων αυτών με το ALBA.
Το ALBA έχει συσταθεί ούτως ή άλλως από την αγορά. Οι ναυτιλιακές εταιρείες μας υποστηρίζουν. Κάποιες από αυτές είναι και μέλη εταιρείες του ALBA, και τους ευχαριστούμε πολύ που είναι κοντά μας, διότι όπως είπε και η κυρία Προβουλάκη, είναι απαραίτητο να υπάρχει και η πράξη, να έρχεται μέσα στην τάξη, διότι όλα αυτά τα παιδιά τελειώνοντας θα πρέπει να βρουν δουλειά στο χώρο αυτό, άρα θα πρέπει να είμαστε κι εμείς κοντά στο χώρο της ναυτιλίας.
Πάντως είδα αρκετή ανταπόκριση, γεμάτο το αμφιθέατρο και πολύ ενδιαφέρουσε ομιλίες και βεβαίως και ομιλητές.
Και πολύ ενθαρρυντικό για εμάς για να κάνουμε πολλά περισσότερα, έτσι.
Μάλιστα. Άρα αυτό είναι το πρώτο ή είναι για την έχουν τουλάχιστον είναι μια σειρά, με δύο λόγια πέστε μας έτσι το πρόγραμμα των σεμιναρίων.
Ναι, έχουν γίνει και άλλα, αλλά θα γίνουν και πολλά περισσότερα. Μέσα στα πλαίσια του μαθήματος ή και όχι.
Μάλιστα. Άρα αυτό εντάσσεται, ας πούμε, μέσα
είναι μέσα στο πρόγραμμα σπουδών. Ο κάθε καθηγητής του ALBA φέρνει ομιλητές από την αγορά, για να μπορέσουν να δουν τα παιδιά την πραγματικότητα του γραφείου.
Και είναι και μια έτσι πολύ καλή πρωτοβουλία και ίσως και μια καλή πιθανότητα η περίπτωση να γίνει αυτή η περίφημη διασύνδεση μεταξύ των αποφοίτων, των φοιτητών με την αγορά εργασίας και να μάθουν και να δουν από πρώτο χέρι έτσι τις απαιτήσεις, τις ανάγκες μιας ναυτιλιακής εταιρείας.
Είναι ευκαιρία για networking για όλους. Για όλους.
Στην ναυτιλία η δικτύωση παίζει πολύ μεγάλο ρόλο, και σήμερα είχαμε καλέσει και κάποιους απόφοιτους από το ALBA, οι οποίοι έχουν υψηλές θέσεις στη ναυτιλία, με σκοπό βέβαια να έρθουν κοντά και με τους φοιτητές και να ανταλλάξουν τις εμπειρίες.
Η ναυτιλία αναπτύσσεται, η ναυτιλία αλλάζει μέσα στα χρόνια. Ξεφεύγουμε από τα μοντέλα και τα μοτίβα που ξέραμε, την πατροπαράδοτη ας πούμε ναυτιλία που μας έκανε αυτό το οποίο είμαστε, και πηγαίνουμε σε άλλα μοντέλα. Οπότε η εκπαίδευση είναι πάρα πολύ αναγκαία. Όχι μόνο η ακαδημαϊκή, αλλά και η εκπαίδευση πάνω σε καινούριους κανονισμούς. Είναι τόσα πολλά τα πράγματα τα οποία έχεις ας πούμε να κάνεις, όπου η εκπαίδευση δεν σταματάει ποτέ.
Ένα πολύ σημαντικό θέμα το οποίο υπάρχει και γίνεται πολλής λόγος είναι η διασύνδεση της εκπαίδευσης των αποφοίτων, μιας και βρισκόμαστε εδώ στο ALBA, με την αγορά εργασίας. Βεβαίως εσείς το βλέπετε από τελείως διαφορετική σκοπιά. Αυτό όμως πώς μπορεί να αναπτυχθεί περισσότερο?
Κοιτάξτε, όταν έχεις ανθρώπους οι οποίοι ας πούμε έρχονται στην εταιρεία και έρχονται από σχολές οι οποίες είναι dedicated στο shipping, βεβαίως θα τους προτιμήσεις από κάποιους άλλους οι οποίοι δεν έχουν κάποια ας πούμε άμεση σχέση. Πόσο μάλλον όταν με αυτούς έχεις τελειώσει κατά κάποιο τρόπο την ίδια σχολή. Οπότε ξέρεις τις δυνατότητές τους και μπορείς να τους χρησιμοποιήσεις, ας πούμε, κατάλληλα για να μπορέσεις να πας στην επιχείρηση σου μπροστά.
Σήμερα ήταν ένα πολύ σημαντικό θέμα αυτό, κυρίως το θέμα των πληρωμάτων. Είδαμε από 3 μεγάλες εταιρείες και παραδοσιακές την αντίληψή τους και την προσέγγιση τους στο θέμα της πρόληψης και των πληρωμάτων. Αυτό πόσο σημαντικό είναι το θέμα, είτε αφορά προς την πλευρά της εκπαίδευσης καθαρά των πληρωμάτων, της πιστοποίησης, αλλά και λιγότερα της ανέβρεσης του κατάλληλου πληρώματος, έτσι πως εξελίσσεται οι ανάγκες στη διαχείριση του πλοίου.
Κοιτάξτε, το πλήρωμα το οποίο έχει είναι πάνω σε ένα πλοίο είναι το α και το ω. Είναι ουσιαστικά, σκεφτείτε ότι έχεις την περιουσία σου να τη διαχειρίζονται ξένοι άνθρωποι. Οπότε πρέπει την περιουσία εννοώ σε γενικότερο πλαίσιο, έτσι. Πρέπει να έχεις απόλυτη εμπιστοσύνη. Αυτό σημαίνει ότι πρέπει να έχεις ανθρώπους τους οποίους τους ξέρεις, αν γίνεται να έχεις δουλέψει μαζί τους, ανθρώπους τους οποίους να τους έχεις εκπαιδεύσει κατάλληλα, ανθρώπους οι οποίοι είναι πιστοποιημένοι για αυτό το οποίο κάνουν. Οπότε καταλαβαίνετε ότι είναι ας πούμε είναι πολύ μεγάλη πώς να το πω, πάρα πολύ μεγάλη σημασία στο να έχει σωστό πλήρωμα. Ακριβώς επειδή υπάρχει και έλλειψη σωστών και σοβαρών ανθρώπων, ας πούμε, οι οποίοι θα μπορέσουν να πλαισιώσουν το πλήρωμά σου, οπότε το training και η αντίληψη μέσα από την εκπαίδευση την οποία θα πάρουμε και εμείς, γιατί και εμείς εκπαιδευόμαστε κάθε φορά, είναι, και αυτό έχει πάρα πολύ μεγάλη σημασία. Γενικότερα η εξέβρεση ικανών αξιωματικών κατά βάση, γιατί κατώτερα πληρώματα είναι σχετικά πιο εύκολο και υπάρχουν πολλές επιλογές. Η εξέβρεση λοιπόν κατάλληλου και ικανού προσωπικού αξιωματικών γέφυρας και μηχανής είναι δύσκολη, βλέπετε να δυσκολεύει όσο περνάει ο καιρός? Ναι, η αλήθεια είναι ότι είναι δύσκολη. Η ναυτιλία, το shipping είναι ένα overregulated environment, το οποίο θέλει να έχεις ανθρώπους αξιωματικούς οι οποίοι έχουν άριστη γνώση της κάθε ιδιαιτερότητας που υπάρχει, των κανονισμών, οπότε καταλαβαίνετε ότι είναι πάρα πολύ δύσκολο να βρεις ανθρώπους οι οποίοι μπορούν να ανταποκριθούν σε αυτούς τους ρόλους. Όντως είναι πολύ δύσκολο. Είναι πολύ δύσκολο. Δεν είναι εύκολο.
Δεν θα έλεγα ότι είναι τόσο διαφορετικό από τη δουλειά μου, καθώς η θάλασσα μία, θάλασσα και η άλλη, καράβια πολεμικά, καράβια εμπορικά. Αυτή τη στιγμή λειτουργεί μια υπηρεσία στο πολεμικό ναυτικό που έχει να κάνει σχέση με ναυλώσεις για πολεμοφόδια, όπου εκμεταλλεύονται εμπορικά πλοία. Οπότε στην ουσία το μεταπτυχιακό μου μπορώ να το χρησιμοποιήσω σε αυτήν την υπηρεσία για τις ένοπλες δυνάμεις. Από την άλλη, είναι ένα πολύ δυνατό προσόν για τη μετέπειτα καριέρα μου, είτε στο πολεμικό ναυτικό, είτε αν θα προωθηθώ στον τομέα του shipping.
Άρα η εκπαίδευση είναι πάντα πολύ σημαντική, είτε αφορά δηλαδή το πολεμικό ναυτικό, είτε σίγουρα και την εμπορική ναυτιλία, και σίγουρα συνδυάζονται αυτά τα δύο. Υπάρχει όμως ανάγκη για συνεχή επιμόρφωση ή απλώς προέκυψε αυτή η δραστηριότητα που αυτή η σχέση μεταξύ του πολεμικού ναυτικού και της εμπορικής ναυτιλίας? Υπάρχει ανάγκη για συνεχή εκπαίδευση
σε προσωπικό επίπεδο μιλάτε?
Σε προσωπικό και γενικότερα σε επαγγελματικό.
Ναι, συνεχής επιμόρφωση σίγουρα δεν σταματάμε ποτέ να διαβάζουμε, να εκπαιδευόμαστε. Γιατροί δεν μπορεί να γίνουμε. Όπως σας το είπα, οι απαιτήσεις στη δουλειά μου είναι πάρα πολλές. Δηλαδή θα με βοηθήσει ένα τρομερό πρόσωπο για τη δουλειά μου. Αλλά πόσο μάλλον στο shipping, που συνέχεια υπάρχει εξέλιξη στον τομέα του shipping, πρέπει να είσαι συνεχώς ενήμερος, updated που λέμε στον χώρο της ναυτιλίας, με ένα μεταπτυχιακό, με κάποια έξτρα σεμινάρια μετά. Δηλαδή δεν τελειώνει η εκπαίδευση ποτέ από ό,τι φαίνεται για την ναυτιλία. Είναι πολύ απαιτητικός ο χώρος.
Και η επιλογή του συγκεκριμένου προγράμματος?
Η επιλογή, έκανα αναζήτηση περίπου 2 χρόνια για να βρω το κατάλληλο μεταπτυχιακό και κατέληξα να πω στην Ελλάδα ότι για μένα το καλύτερο είναι το ALBA, αυτό που είμαι τώρα. Βασικός ρόλος, παίρνουν πολύ σοβαρά τη δουλειά τους. Το value for money μετράει πάρα πολύ για μένα, το βλέπω εδώ πέρα ότι πραγματικά εκτιμώ αυτό που κάνω. Με εκτιμάνε σαν φοιτητή, και υπάρχει πάρα πολύ καλό feedback στο τι μου δίνει εδώ πέρα το Πανεπιστήμιο.
We combine this title, human resources in shipping and in practice, with our distinguished guests. A few comments about each one of you. We will start with the human resource planning in shipping, which has to do with the flow of seafarers on board and ashore. Mr. Skialakoumas holds a bachelor degree in business administration from the Technical University of Piraeus and a master in shipping management from the London Metropolitan University. He has worked as operations manager in Inkscape Shipping Services, Easy Cruise, and as a tanker crew operator in TMS Tankers. Since 2012, he is working in Dorian, Alassia, and currently being in charge of the crew department for Dorian, Alassia and Dorian LPG. The recently established. Exactly. Selection process. This has to do with the screening of seafarers before employment. Mrs. Xenu, she holds a bachelor degree from Maritime Studies of the University of Piraeus, MBA from here, an ALBA graduate. She has completed also seminars of the Hellenic Shipbrokers Association. She has worked in ALBA shipping as accountant, in the operations and chartering department, and since 2009 she works in Alassia New Ships Management as a crew manager, the crew manager. A female in so for a long time. Market salaries and rewards for seafarers. Unfortunately, Mrs. Hartman, due to illness, could not attend today, but you're more than welcome to share with us your experience and knowledge about the market salaries and what bonuses are more effective to retain seafarers, and performance evaluation of seafarers. Mr. Fagogenis is a graduate officer of the Hellenic Navy Academy, having served for more than 10 years at the Hellenic Coast Guard and the Ministry of, doesn't exist now, huh? Right? Of merchant shipping. He has a bachelor in public administration from Pandion University, holds an MBA from the University of Kent, an MSc in human resources from the Athens University of Economics and Business. He joined Thenamaris Ships Management more than 6 years ago, currently working as a senior human performance analyst with expertise in crew management effectiveness, performance management, employee research, and leadership. So, the floor is yours. You can start.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to see you here. Thank you very much for your invitation. I would like here. You see, Mrs. Xenos is, since he was here, he took over the PC also. But then I will have to put it in. Okay, so I'm coming from Dorian, Alassia Dorian LPG. I'm the crew manager there. Dorian LPG is a newly established company. We will see a few things. My presentation will cover a few elements about the history and starting point of the company, in order to give you an idea of what's going on, where we started, where we go, our new built-in schedule, and a few elements about our manning and training. So, Dorian Alassia was established back in 1973. Our principals, the principals of Dorian Alassia, they have managed and owned tankers, bulk carriers, LPG, and general cargo. So we come from all type of vessels in the past. We started our program on the LPG market back in 2002, where we first acquired 2 full pressurized vessels. And after that, in the following 18 months, we bought another 18. This was the initial stage on the LPG market, on the gas market, as we say. The company has entered the VLGC segment in 2005-2006 with the delivery of 3, at that time, VLGC gas carriers. By any chance, anyone knows what the VLGC is? Oh, yeah, it's quite simple. Thank you. So it's the very large gas carriers. They are about 8,000. The ones that we own, at least, they're about 80,000 cubic meters of capacity of gas. They're quite big vessels with a lot of, let's say, technology in regards to the cargo handling that we need to do. So, Dorian LPG was founded in 2013. This is the management company of the pure LPG sector that we have. At the moment, we have 6 VLGCs. 3, they were the ones that they were delivered in 2005, and the other 3 they just delivered within 2014. And 1 small pressurized LPG on the water. We have a very big expansion plan with the order of 16 Eco Hull VLGC new building, which are expected within 2015 and 2016 from HSI. It's a Hyundai Heavy Industry, Daewoo Shipping, Marine Engineer. So currently we have offices in Connecticut, which is our, let's say, our main office. In London we have the chartering, and here in Piraeus we're dealing with the operation of the vessels and technical and crewing. This is the mission of Dorian LPG, and the most basic element in that is to arrange safe, reliable and trouble-free transportation. The key point in that, and I hope that you will see that also from the other delegates, is the safe. Safety is what defines shipping in nowadays. For safety reasons, we take maximum precautions measures, and we need to take, you will see afterwards, we need to follow matrix requirements and some other regulations that are set from the market. Where we started from? Okay. We have a long-established relationship and cooperation with one of the biggest mining agents in Philippines and in Croatia. In Philippines, we use Magsaysay. Our mainly composition of the crew, it used to be senior officers from Croatian senior officers, junior officers and ratings, they were from Philippines. Gradually, this has a bit changed because we needed to support a bit more our senior officers, our Croats. So therefore, we have manned our vessels with some additional Croat junior officers. Our cadet program, which was based only in Croat nationality seafarers, we have managed 40 of them to be promoted to junior officers, and 6 they actually make it to senior officer position. Please have in mind the fact that we are talking about a small size company, only 6 vessels, that in order to promote a senior officer, you need to send somebody home. So it is a quite challenging situation. We have an extensive training scheme for all our seafarers, many additional courses above STCW requirements. STCW are the basic requirements that defines a seafarer. The difference of an individual and a seafarer is the STCW paper. So, okay, this is the license, the competency, the basic safety training. This is what makes a seafarer able to board a vessel as a seafarer. Okay. So, in order to cover and to assure the safety that we mentioned before, which you will see, it's going to be inside your mind all your lives from now on. In order to cover that, we have put some additional training requirements that has to do with cargo handling, with safe navigation of the vessel, with tank inspection, with incident investigation, risk assessment, analysis. These are things that our seafarers, they come to do on the day-to-day job. In order to enter a space, a closed space in a vessel, you need to take the correct measures in order to avoid any accident or any incident on board. So you have to train the people in order to have that. So that's why we have an extensive training scheme in our company, and I believe that the rest of my colleagues here, they will share the same opinion. These are just a few of our retention rates, which have been calculated according to the Intertanko formula. The retention rate in the Intertanko formula doesn't actually describe how many of the people they come back in your company. This is not the only result that you get. It actually gives you an indication of knowing why people left. Have you dismissed them? Are they incapable? You don't want them to be in the company. They left you because they found somewhere better, with better salary or whatever. You will see that in our company, starting a bit low in the senior offices in 2011, we have gradually managed to have a percentage of 96%. That means 96% of our senior officers, they're coming back to us. And we want them back. So we have found the people that they do the job our way, and they also like our way to stay. Okay. Same applies on the junior officers, and we have an amazing percentage of 99% of ratings, which in this case it's a bit high, basically because we give, I think, the highest salary in Philippines. So we have a very big percentage of that. And these are the good news and the bad news. The bad news is that we have 19 vessels coming in a year and a half. The good news is that we have to solve an expanding problem, not a closing down. No? You know, most of the companies here in Greece these days, especially, they are thinking about minimizing. We're expanding, and we need to man all these vessels, taking into consideration the safety seams that they have been set by oil majors, who are the ones who are actually paying our salaries, our seafarer salaries, and actually for the new buildings as well. This is the key management and customer requirement that we need to fulfill. Not we, all the tanker companies. That has to do with matrix compliance. Our problem, at least, was the 2 years with operator. What that means? In simple words, when you hire a seafarer, you start counting the days that he's working with your company, that he's familiarized with your safety system, with your procedures, with your operating manuals, etc., etc., etc. Counting calendar years, you need 2 years in order to have him characterized as familiarized enough in order to join on a vessel together with another seafarer that he has zero experience with your company. I forgot to mention that this applies mainly, matrix applies in general on the officer side, not on the ratings. To make it simple, we have a master who is 2 years with us, and he needs to combine his sea service with a chief officer that he's zero. If one of them is just 1 year, so it does not comply with matrix. There is a table right afterward. Maybe I will help you to understand better. Okay, so in order to cover the 19 vessels that we saw before, we identify our crew needs, which, having taken into consideration the ratio, the on-board ratio and on-shore ratio of seafarers, what they prefer to stay, we calculated that we need about 105 additional senior officers. 105 additional senior officers on a very niche market. The whole fleet of VLGCs in 2012 was 120 vessels. And we need to go, and only our order, because there are other companies also, they followed our example, they go, we just have 19 vessels. So you can understand. What we have set as a prerequisite in order to join our company is that all newly employed senior officers will comply with company requirements regarding previous experience on similar type of vessels and cargoes. Hold that thought, it's right next. And also, we are forced to expand our list of European source countries for senior seafarers, so we moved away only from Croat, and we went to other countries that we know that they actually have people with LPG experience. Latvia, Estonia, Ukraine, and Russia. This is the oil majors matrix requirements. This is a study that we have made in our office. I don't know if you can see there. So it's what the requirements of Shell, Tazwick, Chevron, Statoil, Total. These are the people that hire vessels like us in order to transfer LPG cargo from one side to the other. You will see that Shell, for example, it's on the top corner left, it needs years with operator 2 years calendar plus. Years in rack 3 plus, years on this type of tanker 6 plus. It took me about 6 months to understand what this is. So don't worry if you don't have it yet. Okay, it's natural. We actually count the sea service of the seafarers. How much time they have been on board, actually, how much time they have been on board as chief officers or masters, actually, and since when they have been employed under our company. Okay, the first years with operator gives the meaning. No, it's not the meaning. Provides information about familiarity with company's procedure. This is exactly what it is. Oil majors, they have set these matrix requirements in order to ensure that the most capable, the most experienced, and the most company familiarized seafarers will carry their goods. I am sure that you have all seen accident photographs, accident videos, and everybody in the news, you have heard that this was a BP oil rig or this has been a Shell vessel. 99% of the times it's not a BP oil rig and it's not a Shell vessel. It's a vessel that has been chartered by an oil major, but everybody always hears about the principal, the owner of the cargo in an accident. All this environmental impact, oil majors is what they like to avoid. So they have set certain requirements to the people that they like to offer their vessels in order to have this assurance that the most safe measures have been taken. When you have a captain and a chief officer that they have at least 3 years actual sea service, that means that most of them, they know what they're doing. And if they stay 2 years with your company, that means that you know, and they know also your procedures, and you know each other. This is the main reason of the matrix, of the existence of matrix requirement. Safety. Safety will follow us everywhere. You will see. Here is our starting point. We had only 3 VLGCs on April 2014. We had 5 in December. On 2nd January, we received the 6th one. 1 pressurized. This is the first quarter of 2016, and these are our actual, the first 2 columns on the left, on down here, they're actual numbers, how many senior officers we had. We had 47 senior officers in order to operate our vessels. These 2 oil tankers, they belong to the Dorian Alassia fleet now, that's why it's separated on the next column. So we had actually 47, and on December 2014, we reached 87, minus the people that they left because of the oil tanker. I mean, they're not calculated there. Junior officers, a small increase, ratings, and the prediction for the first quarter of 2016 is 170 senior officers, 155 juniors, and 500 ratings, on a ratio, more or less, on board and on shore, about 6 months on board, 3 months on shore, 6-4, something like that. Which is a ratio that European seafarers, they don't prefer, they don't want anymore. They want more time ashore, less time on board. Again, a more detailed per rank, what we have actually per rank under our fleet as we speak. And the next step, the prediction for June 2015 and December 2015. How do we hire our people? That's a procedure we follow. What do we do in order to ensure that the best available are with us? First of all, we receive an application from our manning agent, and we review the application. We see more or less, according to previous experience, if it fits our fleet if he has previous experience on similar type of vessel. Previous experience on similar type of vessel will solve all your problems. If not all, most of them, because they have previous experience on the same type. They know what they see. They have faced problems that they will not have to face again, and they will know the answers in questions that you have never asked yourself. So, we see the people, we receive the applications, we see how they are, if they fit our profile, and we ask for an ex-Dorian LPG master or chief officer, or chief engineer, to make a personal interview, either through Skype or telephone, or personal if they are in the same territory, in the same area. We have given them a specific agenda on the items that we talk. We don't like them to talk about weather, you know. And when we get the answers in that agenda, we review again, and we have, after we approve, we have a final interview, which is held here in our in our premises in Piraeus by our all senior management team. After that, in order to ensure that our training has results, we arrange for them to embark for at least 2 periods of 2 months on the first year of deployment as trainee officers on board. What does that means? It means observe, learn, watch. If you like to participate, but you don't have an actual role on the things that you do. They are taking place on board. They stay there, they take the lessons, they learn the SMS, they learn the procedures. Again, a specific agenda is distributed and given and followed. Our ex-Dorian seafarers, they evaluate the people on board. They see and they informed us in case that something is going wrong. I have to admit that for Ukrainian seafarers at least, unfortunately, it's not a matter of racist, we have some incidents with alcohol, which are quite difficult, challenging to handle on board. Especially us, that we're a company that we have chosen not to be an alcohol-free company. We have controlled alcohol consumption on board for our seafarers because we treat them as adults and not as children. After the specific on-board training has been completed, after that we ask them to pass the additional training courses, which are shore-based courses, in their countries, in order to fulfill the requirements of the company. What are future initiatives on the sea? We already discussing, and we're already trying to establish a tailor-made CBT. CBT is a computerized based training, which is very in fashion word for shipping nowadays. And we continue to strengthen our monitoring of crew training program on board. Crew training is a business that will never end, and it's quite a good business because you have no, let's say, you have no direct responsibility on that. You provide the training, everybody's happy. And also we will surely reinvest in a strong cadet program. Most probably we will go to other nationalities in cadets because we believe that the right way to produce, in brackets, if I may say, capable seafarers and competent is to have them from inside your organization, to have them as cadets, and to give them the opportunities on board to learn the procedures and the way you want to do things. Thank you very much.
Would you like questions now or at the end? No? We will have time since...
Yes. I can say a few things about the salaries.
Hope you are not going to lie.
The salaries? For sure not. We'll never lie.
I noticed that all the vessels are under the Bahamas flag.
Yes. Convenient for crew department.
Yes, of course. I don't know if 2015 is according to the ICF I don't know if the requirements from the ITF is applied to Bahamas.
All our vessels are equipped with ITF blue cards, if this is a question.
No, because I had an incident with a relative who was under a Bahamas flag. And he faced problems with his seafarer employment.
Agreement.
Yes, of course, because it wasn't according to the ITF, to the MLC. All that.
Yeah. Okay. So Bahamas, they have also signed the MLC convention since prior to 21st August 2013. So that means that all Bahamas vessels are obliged to fulfill the requirements, which one of them is to have a certain type of contract according to MLC requirements. In our company, we have completed this. I mean, all vessels have been audited on MLC compliance. We have MLC compliant the contract of employment, and also all our vessels are ITF blue card holders. That means that approved from ITF. So maybe.
What was the nationality of your ship? Maybe this is great.
And ITF said that he wasn't covered. There's something else. I mean, something else.
Something else. You said previously regarding the years that seafarer is employed under your company. You mentioned about the senior positions, officers and ratings.
Yes. Ratings is zero requirement.
Yes.
If I have.
No. I want to say this. You have Filipinos and Croatia.
Yeah.
The percentage of the Filipinos that now are officers in your company, do you have? Because I believe that according to that, they promote it years after, if they are good in their job. It doesn't have to do with the nationality.
Okay, so now we're talking about two cadetship programs that they have totally different mentality, if I may. The Filipinos, they are very slow in promotion in general. They need to stay a lot of time on board. After the cadetship is completed, they go on rating position most of the times, and after that, they get to be a third officer or a junior engineer, either engineer. On the other hand, the Croatians, they have a mandatory 1 year of sea service in order to get the junior license, junior officer license. And 99% of them, after the 1 year, they have recommendation for promotion. They have a fast track, let's say, in order to get the position. An exact percentage at the moment I don't have. I know by heart that I have at least one junior per vessel, but I mean, you want the percentage which I don't have at the moment. Okay.
Any other questions?
Don't you have Greek crew members?
No.
I mean, as a master or officers?
Not yet.
Why so?
Why so? Because until very recently, we had a restriction with our flag. We had the Bahamas flag. Yeah, we had Bahamas flag, and it was very difficult for us to start. This was one obstacle. The second one was that at the time that, and I forgot to mention that, was at the time that the company has entered to the market, there wasn't a very big number of Greek officers having LPG experience. Because LPG is considered, in general, gas cargo is considered as to be quite difficult and challenging. And don't forget that from day one, we were obliged to fulfill matrix requirements. That means that we need to have a master with experience on this type of tanker. And the experience on this type of tanker is 6 years. So that means master and chief officer need to fulfill this requirement.
Chief engineer?
Yes, and chief engineer, second engineer on the other hand.
So there are less Greek that have experience of that?
At that, on 2005, 2006 that we started, there weren't many Greek officers with that experience. And we entered the Croatian market because one very big player at that time, he had moved from Croats to Indians. So there were many Indian officers available in the market.
Nowadays it's a little bit different. Because if you go to cadet schools now in Greece and you check on students, 98% they choose to go to LMGs or LPGs due to wages.
Yes, we have the wages.
So in the future we will have
the general trend now.
Sorry?
It is a general trend now with the seafarers.
For us that we have bulk carriers, it's extremely difficult to convince them to come on board bulk carriers. Unfortunately. Like Christos.
Okay, so yes, about salaries we can have a talk later on if you like, some things. Yes?
What is the policy on the extent of the employment contracts?
If we accept people to...
Plus 3?
No, our seafarers, they have a standard contract when they board the vessel. It has to do 3 to 4 months with senior officers. They board with that, okay? 4 to 6 for juniors and 6 to 7 for 80s. They have the clause +1 when they board, but no matter what, we have a policy never to exceed the 11 months. I'm talking only ratings about 11 months, because there is an obligation according to MLC of 12 months barrier.
Other questions? Then we can proceed.
Before we start, just because they were confused in the class also about the MLC and the ITF, they are totally different.
Yes.
The one is an IMO regulation, the other is an organization of seafarers that protects their interest. Okay, if you are MLC certified, your vessels, you have no problems. They just ask for fees in order to be, let's say, accredited by ITF, in order not to create problems. This is the mentality. If you are certified with a DMLC from the flag and from the class, actually you are doing all the main and right things. Okay, so ITF cannot do a lot of things.
Yes, please.
You will notice that I'm the only woman, and actually I think I'm the most inexperienced in terms of human resources and crewing. That's why I have chosen to talk more about the practical aspect, how I saw the things when I went to the company, which I will tell you about Alassia in a few minutes, and in order to have an experience on how we work every day in the crew department and which are the difficulties. Okay. Okay. The topics that we will discuss, we have a small introduction to the company, the main factors that affect recruitment process, what are the types, which are the types of recruitment, the direct recruitment and the indirect recruitment, the main responsibilities of the manning agent and the role they have, what we do when we say that we are making pre-embarkation procedures, the software that we use, which is essential for the crew department, about MLC 2006 with the recruitment aspects, not all the regulation, okay? And the difficulties that we encounter in everyday operation and future needs and challenges. Okay. Alassia was established back in 2009. This was the year I was employed in Alassia also. The name, let's say, was taken from the father of the owner. They had Alassia steamship in the past. Then the oldest son, when the father died, took the responsibility of the company and changed the name to Safety Management. I don't know if you have heard Safety Management of Safe Bulkers. It's a big company. Now they possess 34 or 35 bulk carriers. And when the youngest brother started working in shipping, he made established his own company and took the name Alassia. Okay. Nowadays we have 7 bulk carriers which are currently at sea. We expect one delivery of Kamsar Max during March. The fleet consists of 4 modern Handysize Lockheed bulk carriers and 4 Panamax and Kamsar Max vessels. All our vessels are built in Japanese shipyards, and the average age of our fleet is 2.4 years. All are under Cypriot flag, due to the nationality of the shipowner also. And we have manned them with Greek and Filipino seafarers. Okay, more details you can find in our website also about the vessels and how we provide the management of the vessels. These are some two of our vessels. The first one, I don't know if you have seen again a log-fitted vessel. It means that they can carry in the holds and on the holds some logs. Do you know what are logs? Okay, it's a very difficult cargo, which we'll refer in a while, because it needs also very loyal crew to do that. Okay, because they have to do most of the times the lashing and the lancing of the logs on board. And this is something that is dangerous, and they have to know very good safety and to be trained. Okay, the main factors that they are affecting the recruitment process, it's the type of the vessels that you have under your management. It's very different if you have bulk carriers, or if you have tankers, or if you have ro-ro or passenger ships. Is the vessel's flag or flags? Most of the companies have more than one flag. Okay. The nationality of the seafarers, the international regulations, the STCW, the MLC, the company's budget, of course, which means the seafarers' wages. You have to know that almost 80% of the daily operating expenses of a vessel is the crew wages. Okay, and this is the main reason that the crew departments are always accused that they spend the money. The current and future needs of the company also affect the recruitment and the ECDIS implementation. This is something you have heard a lot of times. Now we are getting more close to the date. It's a big issue about ECDIS because although I don't know if you are aware what ECDIS means. No, okay. Perhaps Christos can help on this too. It's an automatic update of charts on board the vessel. Nowadays we have hard copies of charts on board the vessel. The navigation is based on these charts. I think for the existing ships is 1st of July of 2017.
It depends on the time.
Yes, depending on the time for the bulbs, that's why I know. And you have, let's say, monitors on board that are due to, with the satellite, they are getting updates of the existing charts in order to help navigation. This seems to be very convenient from now on, but the thing is that you have to apply very strict training, because in order to have the right ECDIS training, the seafarer has to have ECDIS generic certificate, which means that he can use ECDIS and have the main, let's say, training knowledge, the main knowledge, and he has to know how to use the specific type of ECDIS on board the vessel. And he's getting a specific training certificate. Okay. Let's see about the recruitment. We have two types of recruitment, the direct and the indirect. When we talk about direct recruitment, we mean that as managing company is selecting the seafarers directly and employs them. If we talk about indirect recruitment, it means that we employ seafarers through a manning agent. Actually, Alassia is making employment of Greek seafarers with the direct type of recruitment, and for the Filipino seafarers with the indirect recruitment. Although we have only 7 in month 8 vessels, we already use 2 manning agents. One is based in Philippines only, and the president is Filipino also, and the other is based here in Greece with offices in Manila. You have to know that by Philippine law, it's only allowed 3 manning agents to be in the same company. As Alassia, we cannot employ more than 3 manning agents. Okay, direct recruitment. The procedure for direct recruitment, as all procedures, is described in the company's IMS. Do you know what is an IMS? Okay, it's an integrated management system. It is based on ISM code. All companies have to have an ISM, okay, in order to show how they operate the vessels and how vessels themselves operate. When we talk about integrated management system, it means it has also inside ISO, okay, MLC, SOLAS, and some other regulations. It's great. The company's application form is filled in and sent through email to the company. I will say that the difficulty in this, there are many times that a lot of seafarers are ringing our bell in the office, asking to fill in an application. This is not allowed. Okay. What we follow is always we manage the applications through the email, and nowadays we use also a new website, the Seaman Book, which is established here in Greece, where all seafarers can get in, see the open vacancies of the companies, and apply directly, or let's say put their curriculum vitae and say that I'm searching for a work. This also applies for the students or people that are searching for a vacancy in the maritime industry. When we get the application, what we have to do as cruise department is to evaluate the application. How we evaluate an application? Every company has established their requirements and their requested qualifications. So we have a matrix that we will see afterwards, which indicates which are the minimum requirements of the company and the minimum qualifications that seafarers should have in order to be employed. If we make this evaluation and decide as cruise department that, okay, this candidate may be good, we arrange an interview. After the interview, evaluation is also given by the responsible department. What we mean with responsible department is for the deck officers, the operation department, and for the engine officers is the technical department. As soon as we get this evaluation and this feedback, if some references are available, we request references from other companies. Okay, but in order to know this, according to MLC, this is prohibited. You have to take the seafarer by himself, say to you, okay, I have some references, you can call this company to ask about me. Otherwise, according to MLC, you blacklist, you give personal data, so it's forbidden. Okay, let's see how an application form is. I think I have to do this. No, it's opening. Today, we have all the personal data of the seafarer. It's very important to have the personal data of the seafarers because in case of emergency, you have to be able to give to the management and to the person that will ask at that time all the personal data. Who is the next of kin that you should inform that you have a problem, you have an emergency, where does he live, his phone number, all this, in order to contact his family. Okay. In part A also, we include the sea service. as Christos said, it's very important to know if the seafarer has previous sea service at the same type of vessels. And also, due to the requirements that nowadays the vetting companies have and the charterers, you have also to include and be specific, let's say with the total sea service, how many years he is at the same rank, and if he's an ex-crew, how many years is with the company. At the part B, you can you have an interview with standard questions that you ask as crew department, okay, because the technical department is asking more specific questions on qualifications and competence and day-to-day operation. And after this, in the format at the end, there is a final evaluation where all the departments decide if he is a senior officer, that he is employed or he is not employed. Okay, you will see, if we can see the application. At the end, there is let's say some boxes that you tick if the seafarer is fit for work and you have received his PEME, and if his certificates are authentic. Okay, because we have many cases, especially for Filipino seafarers, that the certificates were not authentic, and we had problems on board. Okay, how we do evaluation of a seafarer when we receive the application? First of all, we check his age. Okay, if it is according to the requirements of the company. Also, if he's over 18, according to MLC, actually 16, but from 16 until 18 you have special requirements on board. His sea service, what type of vessels he has served, the duration of his contracts. This actually, it's a very good information because when you check how many months a seafarer is on board, you can understand how loyal and how, if he likes his job. There are a lot of cases that seafarers go on board the vessel for 2 months, then disembark, stay ashore, let's say, another 4 months, and then go to another company. This shows something for the character of the seafarer. And another thing that we check is how much time the seafarer spends ashore. Okay, if he works on board, let's say, for 2 months and he spends ashore 1 year, this is not so good. It means that he's, let's say, if he wants to get a promotion, this will be in the very long future. Okay. The other thing we check in Part A and prior the interview is the certificates. This is a routine for the crew department. Okay, most of the times we check the application and then we tick all the boxes and we say, yeah, okay, let's put. I'm 10 minutes already. Okay. If we miss a certificate from the application, and the seafarer is not a holder of this certificate, it means that we will spend a lot of time until the issuance of certificate. So most probably we will not make the change. Okay, the two change. All above are evaluated based on company's minimum requested qualifications. Okay, interview and after interview evaluation, we have talked about this. If the seafarer is considered employable, we start the pre-embarkation medical exams, and if we see that he needs training, we send him for training. Okay, and afterwards we have the familiarization in the office. Okay, the indirect recruitment through the manning agent. More or less it's the same. Actually, what the company has to do is to communicate to the manning agent the policy of the company, the qualification matrix and the certificate matrix. Okay, all crew departments have those things in order to assist the manning agents. Okay, what we do as company, we announce to the changes to the manning agent, the managing agent proposed us the candidates. We evaluate the application of the candidates as we do with the direct recruitment. We interview all the officers through Skype. The final decision is taken by the company, and when we send the OK to the managing agent, the pre-application procedure starts. They send them from the medical exams, the trainings, and if they are senior officers, they come in Athens to be familiarized in the office. The managing agent's responsibility is to follow up the IMS procedures, to initial interview and screen the seafarer prior proposal to the company, okay, because they do a screening prior sending the CV to us, to assure that the candidates are qualified and competent as per Alassia's requirements. If they send to us a candidate that does not fulfill the requirements, we do not proceed to the interview, and it's like a battle for them. They send only if they accept, if the requirements are fulfilled. Sorry. And they assure that all the certificates are valid as per the company's policy. Alassia has a policy that all the certificates should be valid for at least 18 months from the day they are secured. This is in order to avoid things like expiring certificates on board the vessel and not knowing where you will disembark them. You should have a replacement on time, and all these things to the everyday operation are very difficult. The pre-embarkation procedure, we start the medical exams. The medical exams include the HIV test, the drug and alcohol test, the psychological test, and many companies, we do also, have an additional package of exams that's taking place. Then we have the verification of validity of certificates of competency. This is usually done through the website that the authorities have, and you can check there with the number of the certificate that is authentic. We send them for training if we have identified from the previous service that they need some kind of training, or through the interview. Let's say our port captain says that he needs that training, we send him. Actually, in Manila we have some CBTs which are not for general knowledge, if, let's say, he knows how to navigate. Okay, it's about the company's specific IMS, in order to check that they know our policy. Then the familiarization takes place, and then the seafarer is ready to be dispatched with his tickets, visas, okay to board. Okay, about the software. The software and the data keeping. This is very crucial for the crew departments because they have to handle, let's say, a big amount of documents, and all the softwares that they are in the market enable us to have them in a software format. Okay, if you want to evaluate if software is good for the crew department, you must be able to follow up the stage of application until disembarkation from the vessel. Okay, I had some here, very good, but we cannot open them. Software should enable the user to plan the crew changes, to maintain and file application, to maintain and file the sea service, maintain and file the certificates, the training courses, and the evaluation of the company's remark. Okay, about emergency and recruitment. Actually, the topics that, let's say, affect recruitment are the minimum age, that the certificates for the seafarers should be as per STCW, that pre-embarkation medical examination should be as per STCW 2010 Manila amendments. The service should not be on board more than 12 months. This is prohibited and more. Seafarers' employment agreements content, the wages, that the overtime should be paid with 1.25 of hourly rate, the entitlement of leave which should be at least 2.5 calendar days, the manning levels, the career and skill development and opportunities for seafarers' employment. This is actually for the flag states. The manning agent and or the company should not get a fee from the seafarer for his recruitment. The guys that work already in the crew department will know that most of the money agents used to take a fee from the seafarer in order to recruit him. The repatriation provisions, and that the cook should be over 18 years and hold a certificate of competency. Okay, this was a medical certificate.
You want to leave some time for the wages?
Also?
Yes.
Okay, we have the difficulties and some solutions. Difficulties that we encounter in everyday operation. Nowadays we have a big shortage of officers, and especially chief mates and second engineers. Filipino seafarers are the main source these days for all the companies, and the problem is that they have an extremely bureaucratic system. Another problem that we face is that prior the January 1st of 2017, all the certificates of competency should be changed and be in accordance with STCW 2010, the ACT's regulation that we have talked about it. The pre-embarkation medical examinations most of the time are very consuming, and sometimes the seafarers, the money agent informs us that he's not fit to work, which means that you cannot send him on board. The seafarer decides not to join due to personal reasons. Also, everyone who works in the crew department, this is something very usual. We cannot do easily recruitment during the holiday seasons. We have, most of the companies have too many criteria for promotions due to safety and security reasons. And also we have a lot of vetting criteria by charters. Okay, the future needs and challenges. We will all face a high demand of seafarers. We are already facing this. This is due to the increase of tonnage due to new building vessels. We don't have, unfortunately, we don't have a good quality of maritime schools, so fewer competent seafarers are in the market. The officers are eager for promotion and upgrade of certificates of competency. And the demands now, they require less service in order to get a higher diploma, and this is a problem. The mentality for the risk of promotion led to increase of average age of pool. New regulations follow up, increase the level of competency. Low time charter market keeps stable the wages. Okay, and I have some solutions in hand. Okay, the possible solutions could be a very good pre-planning of the company on a long-term basis regarding their needs. The cadets programs that Christos also said. A very good promotion policy, a loyalty policy, a human-oriented culture in the company to be close to the seafarers' families, okay, and to give initiatives including bonuses and wages that we will talk. Thank you very much.
Are you using that quality of data or helps you in recruiting? Which companies, for example, are they specific for the shipping company, for the shipping industry?
Yes, the most usual one is Thenamaris. Okay, in my company we use Thenamaris. I had my Thenamaris card, PDF. Actually, we put all the data there, the application, when it is secured, all the certificates, the contact details, all the things about, even about the blood type. What else? The remarks and the evaluations from the vessel, okay, or the superintendents that they go on board. So, let's say in a maintenance card you can have all the information about the seafarer. If imagine that Christos will know it better, that if you have more than 200 seafarers that you see every day, and you have to check, you are not able to remember everything. So the right data, the right input of data is very possible for recruitment.
Is the analysis for the Greek seafarers and officers or for international? International. Yeah. Do they perform? Does the software perform also on this platform? You can perform the background check, or you have to go on a different way to do all the background checking with the certificate?
Usually the background check is made through the seaman books. through the Siemens books, we check the services that they are in the application with their Siemens books, the data they have in the Siemens books. And we also call the companies if we are allowed to do so. About the authenticity, no, we go in specific sites, for example, in Marina for the Filipinos, and we check that the certificate number exists in their data.
One by one?
Yes, one by one. This is a job that the money agents does, but we do it for ourselves too, in order to be safe. Yes?
Regarding to ECDIS implementation that you have mentioned previously, are there several types of forms of ECDIS certificates, and there is a problem with the seafarer that they don't possess what you need in the company regarding to your policy?
Yes, there are two types of certificates. The ECDIS generic, which actually it is the cost for the seafarer because it's according to STCW requirements. And then we have the specific type. The specific type certificate is issued and paid by the company. Okay, you send them to the manufacturer, let's say that they have this training course for Furuno, this type of ECDIS, and they issue a certificate. But the problem in the recruitment is that it's very time consuming. It's very good for the seafarers, of course, and for the company, but for us, in order to, let's say, because all the things are, we do it very quickly, okay, in the recruitment. If you have a seafarer that he has to do 5 days generic ECDIS training and another 3 days ECDIS specific training, you lose 8 working days for the training. So you have to make a very good pre-planning.
If you think that ECDIS is not a new technology, ECDIS as a system, it's not a new technology. It has to do many years up to on board. The majority of seafarers doesn't possess an ECDIS certificate generally. And I am talking about junior officers because...
Generic, yes. Generic they possess, but actually, let's say if they had the training 5 years before and they haven't worked with an ECDIS on board, then they forget, so they have to do it again. And if you ask him to do it again, he will say no because I have to pay it. So the companies pay it.
Okay, thank you.
Can we move on and keep some questions for the end? Yes.
Okay.
Can we keep them for the end? Yeah. Thank you.
We started with good afternoon. We will proceed with good evening. And we are going to finish with good night. I represent Thenamaris, a long-established shipping company. It is very interesting to be here tonight, listening to my colleagues, realizing the beauty of the shipping industry. We have totally different approach on several issues. It's not about right or wrong, who is the good guy, the bad guy. It has to do with perception. So, Thenamaris. Although we took a course stating that long sentences on presentations should not exist, I was given this formal presentation from my colleagues. I'm not going to follow, though. Presently, we have 62 vessels. We are considered to be a big company, trading worldwide, different type of vessels. We are going to look at them later. And we have more than 1,500 seafarers on board as we speak. Some of our seafarers have their wives on board, so maybe the number is bigger. Of course we have a vision, of course we have values, and of course you can Google at the internet and get all this information. Vision, how we move on, same story, long term. So, let's start with the history of Thenamaris. A lady, quite old, 89 years old, still go hunting, still coming to the office every day, still crazy, some people say, created Thenamaris. Thenamaris are the letters of the first letters of the names of the family. Thanasis, Athina, Nunu, Andreas, Dinos. Okay. They created this empire. She started her own business back at the 70s. Actually started, the first vessel was bought in 66, and at the beginning of the 90s one of her sons decided to create his own company. So he took vessels, he took shore personnel, he took seafarers and created Eastern Mediterranean. After almost a decade, the other son did the same thing and he created Minerva. So, as we speak, we have 3 sister companies that they are still expanding. A few months ago, one of the 2 sons of the third son, the grandchild of Miss Athina Martino, created his own company. So the story goes on. This is a story actually of the shipping industry. It has nothing to do with Thenamaris. We don't consider ourselves as unique, something that other people are not doing. Okay. So this is an idea of our fleet. As you can see, we have tankers, we have cargo vessels, we enter LNG world a few years ago. We have containers, and we are expanding. I joined Thenamaris 6 years ago. During that time, we were dealing only with 40 vessels, 40. Presently, we are reaching the number of 60 plus. That happened in the last 2 years. If only you can imagine what happened back at the office. The management gathered us a few months ago, and the whole company, more than 240 employees, and they told us that their dream is to reach the number of 100 vessels till 2016. I was about to submit my resignation, but I remember that I'm married and I have 3 children, and the same mother-in-law for the last 14 years. I don't want any more troubles in my life. So you can see here some characteristics of the vessels. This is, we are talking about the new building scheme that we have, and we do not rely on that, because every day, not only Thenamaris, most Greek companies, they are buying vessels. They are just waiting for the big bang, and they are buying vessels every day. It is amazing, the whole Greek industry. So this is just a graph to show you the average years of our fleet. It increased. That means that we had to replace our old vessels with new ones, and its start goes up, meaning that vessels are growing older. This is just a chart of how we are organized. I'm somewhere below the screen. No reason to mention anything more there. No value in this slide. So these are the oil majors. Actually, these are our customers. Okay. Very difficult market. Very difficult to survive. Still breathing. Still trying to expand, but it's not an easy thing to do. Even if you have a company with few vessels, even if you have 60 vessels, if you have, like Cardiff, more than 100 vessels, very difficult to survive. Very difficult to run your business. Of course, these are some of our accreditations, awards. Most of the companies have these. Okay, it's not that it's just Thenamaris. And now, the interesting thing, the thing that I love to do, it has to do with people. You have to realize that you cannot work at a crew department if you don't treat people with dignity and respect. Nobody's fool. People pretend that they don't understand, pretend that they didn't hear, pretend that they agree. Actually, they just want to do their job. They just want the position, they just want to sail, they just need the money, they just need the promotion. Okay? So, if you are full and you think that you can trick them, you are making a big mistake. We are talking about seafarers, we are talking about people that are going all around the world, meeting so many nationalities. Okay? No reason to say anything else. So in Thenamaris, we employ Greeks, Bulgarians, and Filipinos. As I told you, when I joined Thenamaris 6 years ago, we have a quite big office back in Manila, one of the oldest one. We trust Filipinos a lot. All ratings are Filipinos. We have full Filipino vessels, meaning that from the captain till the assistant steward, everybody on board is Filipino. We have full Bulgarian vessels, meaning that all officers are Bulgarians. Okay. We have Greek vessels, same thing, all officers Greeks, and we have mixed crew, very interesting. What we are trying to do, we are trying to melt. We are trying to make people, to train people, and to make them be able to adopt from the day they start their career at sea. What we are trying to teach them is that this is your life, a cycle. Okay? It is divided into pieces. This is your family. This is your girlfriend. This is your second girlfriend. Ladies, excuse me, but normally we're talking about seafarers. Unfortunately, we are not mature enough in Thenamaris to employ women yet. I have a dream. Anyway, so friends, religion, hobbies, etc. What is happening in real life? Somebody is entering the vessel and he starts his career. So the sea starts taking small pieces from every part of his life. At the end, this is his life. More than 75% of his life is the sea. Okay. So you have to train people. You have to grow people. This is the system that we used to have. Fortunately, we decided to change this. This is the evaluation system. Okay. So, talking about character, talking about industry, talking about professional ability, having a scale from 0 to 100. What's the difference in character? 83 to 87. What's the difference? I get this information at the office. Different captains, different chief engineers evaluate people differently. So I have to combine all this, and we are talking about general characteristics. I don't want to say that this system was wrong. I'm just going to say that this system was very good for a another, exactly. Now we need to change. What we have done, we have tried to go closer to our people. I went to the market, I found a lady, she came to Thenamaris delivering Tagalog lessons. You have to learn Tagalog. Not to learn Tagalog, Filipino. Not to the dialect, the basic dialect. Not to learn Tagalog in order to communicate, but to understand how they feel, what it is important for them. Okay. I say to my colleagues back in Athens, due to ISM, you're obliged to bring senior officers to train them for organization, etc. Don't bring them, bring their wives. Why? Because in the Philippines, if you know the wife, and you can convince her to send her husband to go on board, you have a victory. So, exactly. There is no reason to have good relations with your seafarers. Try to have with their wives. Talking about Filipinos, okay. Bulgarians, totally different story. It's all about money. So, the new system that we have adopted a few months ago, it's called SL2, Situational Leadership. It's being used it was created by Ken Blanchard and some of his colleagues. Actually, we are going to see later what this states. It's about life. Life is like a 10-speed bicycle. Most of us have gears we never use. What is happening, what you should do, you have to try to push the right buttons, okay, in order to activate things, to make people do what you want them to do, okay. And of course you know him, eh? The creator of Snoopy, the dog, back at the 70s, the cartoon. So, things that we know, but we don't know that we know them. Somebody has to do the hard job. The difficult thing, you see this handsome boy, that's me, 15 kilos less, anyway. So, what we are trying to do, it's all about information. But, crew department, people that are working at crew department, they are not people that have more information. Actually, what is happening is that we are talking about people that have better ways in handling the information. And I'm not talking about systems. I'm talking about people taking the right decisions and using the information in the right way. So what we are trying to do is to have a good communication with our vessels, to receive information from the vessels concerning the performance of our people. Okay, imagine that we want to develop. Imagine that we want to reach the number of 100 vessels. How we are going to do that? It is extremely difficult, as my colleague said, to go to the open market and try to attract people. Okay, so you have to develop. Not easy. Having an affair, it's not easy. Imagine having so many people on board. Okay. So, the known story, everybody has seen this photo, the iceberg. You see behaviors. It's very easy to characterize. You are lazy, you are hard worker. We are talking about feedback, pure feedback, negative. Even when you praise people and you tell to somebody that you have done an excellent job, this is wrong. You have to be specific. You have to go into details, because during his job, maybe the result was excellent, but during the process, maybe there was something wrong, extremely wrong, that by coincidence didn't cause a damage. So even when you, this is let's say as an advice, even when you praise people, try to do it the right way, not generalize, good work. What good work? Where exactly? At what point? Okay. So, what we have done, we have used this model of Ken Blatschart. Unfortunately, as you can understand, although you can Google and find everything, we are not allowed to bring to this presentation the whole concept. But what is happening is that he created a model with 4 development levels. Using competence and commitment, high and low, he has created 4 levels. Okay. These are the 4 levels. Low competence, high commitment, low to some competence and low commitment, moderate to high competence and variable commitment, high competence and high commitment. He created this model. So let's say that you have a guy, you have a person on board on a specific task, and this is the important thing, and you are trying to realize what is his development level. He knows, he likes. Yes, no, creates this model. This is the concept, very simple. So we have the beginner, the steady contributor, the learner, beginner, learner, steady contributor, and expert. But don't have it in your mind that learner is the next stage. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with specific competence and specific commitment. Okay? So, what is his development level?
Expert.
Expert. Hold on. Specific task. What about baseball?
Also.
You remember the story, eh?
No.
He started his career, finished as an excellent superstar god of basketball, and started a career at baseball. Disaster. We are talking about the same person, eh? Okay. We are talking about the same person. So, the concept is very simple. Specific task. People can do certain things. You have to identify the special characteristics. You have to train them and to develop them and to know how to use them. Not to use them in the bad way, in a way that they will feel better and they can perform better. Otherwise, you remember what I said before, nobody's fault. Okay? So, what we have done, we have created specific tasks, not just character, not just industry, specific tasks, voyage planning. It has to do with what is your priority. These are priority for us. For others, other things. Okay? And we have created the level they have for all our seafarers. Now, a very common question. Why in the shipping industry you don't have 360 models? Impossible, okay? When you have people that are jumping from the vessel after 3-4 months, imagine the information you are going to receive, and you cannot control and handle this information. And maybe it is easy for 10 vessels, but when you have 100, resignation again. Okay, some details here, what is considered good practice, etc. I thought that there were more slides. I have here my colleague Kostas, who has graduated from ALBA and came here to support me. And most probably he has done something. Okay, he's trying to hide it. So, hit me.
Question.
Yes, please.
Why did you stick with 3 nationalities and not expand to 4 or 5? And from the 3, okay, Greeks and Filipinos are the pretty much the norm. Why Bulgarians? Did you use any specific performance KPIs or behavioral KPIs to stick with them? Or?
We started with Filipinos back at the 60s and 70s, and we decided to open the market in Bulgaria at the early 90s. When you are in the shipping industry, you realize that you need to have a backup plan. Not actually a backup plan, you need to be on the safe side. This is the reason most of the companies, including Thenamaris, we do not sail under one flag. Greek, Maltese and Bahamas. Why is that? Maybe tomorrow something will happen to Greece and you will need to change flags. So you need to be aware of what is happening in the market and not start from the beginning, in the middle of a crisis, to find the solution. Now, the decision to have these three nationalities has to do with the management. If you have a team that brings you good results, you don't change. The reason that we decided to employ Bulgarians is that we consider them very similar to Greeks, although it doesn't sound so nice. From our neighbors and from people that come from the Black Sea, officers, we consider them more close to our standards. Culturally, yes, let's say. Yes. Again, it's not about right or wrong. Sometimes you have to, no guts, no glory. Sorry about this, but this is the truth. So they decided for certain reasons they wanted to expand. Remember the diagram before? The first brother decided to took vessels, shore personnel, so they wanted to expand and they needed a solution. Started with Bulgarians. Okay? No KPIs, nothing during that time. Please.
I want to continue that question. You mentioned you have some vessels with each of these nationalities only, and some maybe with all three. So which is better performing due to your
madness? Madness. There is no answer to this question. I'm going to be very. Sometime, if you are not insane, you cannot work at the crew department. I'm just going to tell you a very brief incident that occurred last week. A Greek captain calling me, stating that the cook I brought on board is horrible, he's dirty, his nails are black, etc. And we have to disembark him at Sab. Next morning, prior to the disembarkation, another Greek captain, also senior, gave me a call telling me that I heard that this cook is going to disembark. Please bring him to my vessel. It is impossible. It has to do with perception.
If we let them not have a crew department and just arrange the changes between the vessels by their own, the masters, it's okay. Have a crew department there.
So, please.
Another question on that. You talked all about human error, and we know that most accidents on shore of a vessel, ashore, it's because of that. Do you run any kind of intercultural training, as an example, because you have these three nationalities between them, understanding what you mentioned, what is important for Filipinos, for Bulgarians, for Greeks, also within the vessel and between vessel and office?
A very interesting question. I'm still trying to convince my colleagues about these things, meaning that the difference among Filipinos and Bulgarians, a very simple thing. Filipinos are the kind of people, because of their language also, you have to describe in details what you do. And this is why people have misunderstood them in the way they are acting, as if they are not so clever or something like that. This is not the case. It has to do with their culture. It has to do with their language. In order to move this from here to there.
Seminars, particularly on the culture of Filipinos, and the feedback from the crew managers, because it was only crew managers attending, was that it's very useful because it translates even the body language. and they're trying to convince the management to offer it to seafarers who are the actual people working with these different nationalities. It's essential question to know about these things.
What we did at least once, because we're talking about the time period from 2005, to discuss some issues, etc. But it's not, even that it is a TMSA requirement for most of the companies, but it's high level. It's about 3 or 4, if I remember correctly. It's quite a challenge to cope. Personally, we participated together with one of Maria's seminars, complex seminars on the understanding of it. And you're waiting for the coffee for an hour. So, and we have the disadvantage of using Croats, which are very loud, like Greeks. You know, we move our hands, we shout, we cheer, and it's a game. They think that they always are sound. So anyway, yes, it is an issue, and it's always in our minds. But I don't think we're going to find a systematic solution on that. Only with discussions, seminars, bring them together, and try to treat them all as equals.
Mangoes, exactly. Thank you. Concerning training, is what my colleague said before. It is something that you are obliged to do. You get the certificate. That doesn't mean, though, that you are certified to cook. Not in terms of paper, in terms of real cooking. Okay. So, again, madness, because most of the times seafarers hold valid documents for things that are not fully aware of what they are doing. I shouldn't say that. But this is the truth. Okay. Somebody has to say the truth.
Yes, but the other side of the coin is the way the evaluators evaluate, the objectivity they have to
and this is the reason why we decided as Thenamaris to adopt this new system, which is extremely difficult for the evaluator, because now you have 4 instead of from 0 to 100. Okay, so you have 4, and the questions are very simple. He knows, yes, no. He likes to do the job, yes, no. Finish. Nothing else.
So you don't train the evaluator?
Say again?
Do you train the evaluator?
Of course, of course. During this new system, we were trained, I mentioned before about seafarers. There are some trainings that they are obliged to follow. Some of them are not, they're obligatory, meaning that they need to have them on board. Okay, so when you have a person that needs to spend 3 months at shore, even if he's getting paid for this training, but this is the time of his vacation and he needs to attend the training. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, because on issues that are very important, of course they know. Okay, and they follow, and they refreshing courses, they follow the refreshing courses. This is part of their job. But I think that we are overdoing it sometimes. Too much info.
Can we have just one more question about this topic, and we can talk about wages?
How often do you reevaluate your personnel?
It has to do with their contract, meaning that during the expiration of their contracts, we
reevaluate.
Actually at the end of the contract. But if the evaluator is the captain and he disembarks in the middle of the contract, he has to evaluate the people. So maybe sometimes during the contract on board, you have 2 evaluations.
So you're not, the crew department is not always the evaluator?
It has to do with the rank. For ratings, for example, second engineer and chief officer are responsible for that. Okay, but for captains and chief engineers, the office, we are responsible.
And you also mentioned that you changed your evaluation procedure. Let's say you added more. Do you reevaluate the seafarers that you have that are on board? And have been evaluated with the previous process?
Now, what is done is done. Now we use a new system. We take into consideration all the previous information, okay, but again, when you have character, imagine showing you a video and asking you to evaluate the person at his character from 0 to 100. How many different opinions I'm going to have? Okay, we have run this test and the results are amazing. Also, please consider the nationality. If he's going to be Filipino, it's going to be different from Greeks or Bulgarians. Okay, the beauty of life.
I have also one question addressed to all of you, and it has to do with retired crew.
Meaning?
Meaning a captain that has been retired and has been also recruited to go on board.
Wishing him all the best. Enjoy the rest of his life.
There are many companies that actually recruit retired captains.
In terms of for the office, you mean?
No.
This is only for Greece.
Yeah.
Does not apply to other nationalities. This is only for Greece.
Yes.
How is it easy for them to go on board, and can they actually renew their certificates and all that?
There is procedures.
There is a procedure, but δουλεύετε στην πορεία. Για να ξέρω τι να απαντήσω. There are ways. Lots of ways. If you want to work and you have money in your pocket
and somebody finds you capable,
exactly,
you will find the solution.
I don't suppose that in Dorian you actually recruit retired captains.
We don't have retired because they are Croats. We don't have Greeks. So
the official way is to go to us and say that you intend to work again, take your seaman book, national seaman book back, do the trainings and have new certificates. Or validate the certificate. This is the official way.
And the only way, actually.
Yeah.
For this two questions. You said that as per Filipino law, a management company can cooperate with three manning agencies.
Yes.
Is it 3 Filipino manning agencies or whatever? For Filipinos. Okay. And my second question is for the totality of the panel. In one of your slides, you said that we are in need of more seafarers as more vessels are coming to the water. Do you sense that there may be some layups because now the fleet has been generally been rejuvenated? I mean.
Okay, we have last 45 years the lowest chartering hiring rates in the market. Okay, this is a scenario that could be possible. Even in this scenario, some of the crew should be on board, at least I think 5, it depends on the company's policy and the vessel, in order to maintain the vessel. Okay, it's extremely difficult to, if you laid up a number of vessels to keep the pool. You have to give other initiatives, okay, bonuses, standby bonuses, in order to keep them. Actually, the main problem is that there is not a country that produces let's say in that speed seafarers. Okay, so the companies have to find ways to produce themselves seafarers and to keep them.
Right. And here we come to the rewards.
Yeah.
Financial, and if there are any non-financial. How do you manage to retain the seafarers?
Okay, so now we're going to do the salary scale, the salary issue. Okay, so in theory, money in the market is the best solution. I heard some stories that there were some crew managers in the past that were very, very anxious about the seafarers. How we're going to find them? Where we're going to find them? They're not enough. How can we have 10 vessels in 2 months, 3 months, etc. And then the owner said, "Oh, no worries, no worries, no worries." And 2 weeks prior to deliveries, he started increasing the rates, increased the salaries. Okay, this used to be the practice in the past, but now the volume of the ships doesn't support this solution. There are coming too many ships, in a very short period, and especially now with the market that has a tendency of specialization, you try to find a good, a capable second officer for a bulk carrier, and you want him to be from a bulk carrier. You don't want him to be from a tanker or from an LPG or from a cargo or from a ro-ro vessel, whatever. The market is driving us, the requirements of the majors, of the charterers, of the one who's paying for everything, is driving us to specialization. That means create your own pool, if you can. Thenamaris is one of the biggest Greek companies. They have made that several times. They have, at least I heard that they have a very strong candidacy program. And this is the only valid solution for the time being, at least. Of course, technology is coming. There are many talks about, many discussions about unmanned vessels. There are many discussions about rapidly reduced number of seafarers on board the vessels in order to keep them operated. But you know, there are many things are on the table at the moment. What we do as a company, what we used to do and what we try to do now that the size is increasing, because size increases in short period or in any period, you know, it always creates problems. You face problems that you didn't have in the past, you didn't know, you never heard, but now you have them because there are more seafarers, they have more problems, more difficulties to face. So what we used to do and what we try to do is to try to keep our people in close contact on a matter of a personal relationship. We are very competitive in the salaries, but we have to, because it's the market. Our market is very close to the LNG market, which the salaries there are sky high, I mean, you cannot reach. So we try to compensate our people well enough. We try to train people, and we try to give them the personal touch of the company, the character. We support them if there is a financial need. We provide them standby joining bonuses, but this is something that everybody does on different scales, either higher or lower. I personally cannot think any better solution from creating, establishing and supporting continuously a strong, very strong cadetship program. That means an investment, a long-term investment, and long-term, at least for the rhythm that our life is going on now. But either this way, or you always be on the side of the market. You always get whatever the other companies don't want to have. You'll get the leftovers. Small touch on the salaries and benefits from my side. If you want something else, we can discuss.
Just to add something on this, again concerning Filipinos, what is very important to understand is that they have a huge problem with relatives, so-called relatives. Actually, what is happening, somebody comes from a village, he gets a position on board, people back at the village, they're trying to get money from him, try to not steal, but you know, find ways to get as much as they can. So there is a solution. The poor guy is trying to bring the relative on board the vessel. This stops the problem of giving money to him. Now he has to be he has to find a solution for the next, for the other relative or the neighbor, etc. There is a huge corruption in the Philippines also. People say that he's my relative, he's recommendee, he's just a neighbor or somebody who is knows him, and he gets percentage of his salary. But the point is that Filipinos are using that, and it's very interesting the fact that there are ads at newspapers from companies that say we invite you and your recommendee to join our company. Normally, what is happening, there are very few, let's say, there is a lack of second engineers, for example. So a second engineer goes to apply and he brings 2 recommendees. So you are in need, you employ him, and you have to employ the 2 recommendees. None of them is experienced. Most of the times they are not capable, but you need the second engineer. So this is the world of the shipping industry in the Philippines. And this is one of the reasons why several companies are not focused anymore or so much as they used to do in the Philippines. The salaries went up and such problems exist. So maybe we should start looking for other markets, maybe. But when you have companies that have made an investment, for example, you employ for Maxasai, okay, they have created villages and they invite their seafarers to live in the apartments they have built. So this is a very nice way to keep somebody loyal to your agency, actually, not company. Okay. So of course there are ways, but it's very difficult. You have to struggle a lot.
Culturally, it's the cycle of debt that the Wagner looked in the Philippines. Culturally, we can describe it and understand it. And if we know, we can manage this cycle of debt and choose from the recommendations. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
For example, for Thenamaris, we do not accept this. We do not accept it. We consider this as blackmail. No negotiations with terrorists, finish. But other companies find, this is the beauty of the shipping industry, consider this as a solution.
Actually,
it's not right or wrong.
Actually, more or less, the wages in the market based on nationality are fixed. Okay, each company follows the other company's wages in order to be competitive and have fares. This is my opinion, my personal opinion. It's wrong. We keep increasing and increasing the wages for the seafarers. This sometimes has to stop from the side of companies. Because they are keep not having enough, let's say you have a big increased demand and you don't have enough supply. This will lead to an increase of wages and you will not have enough competent seafarers to pay the wages. And especially based on nationality, most of the companies are choosing the initiatives that they give to the crew. My colleague here, and he's a mentor for me. Okay, he works to a company that is amazing. Filipino have this thing with the wives. Okay, they most of the time they don't have only the formal wife; they have another wife too. For example, in my company, it is very important that the crew manager is a woman and goes to Manila twice a year. The wives are coming to see her, they talk with her, so their husband stay in the pool. Most of the companies are using, let's say, an additional insurance about the families of the seafarers. Okay. And their children when they are on board the vessel and when they are ashore. Any other?
Christmas parties, whatever. You can name it. We have tried it. We do it, or we're thinking of it. So yes, we have Christmas parties every Christmas. You see, crew managers' planes arrives at Philippines, and we are celebrating with everyone the very sunny and warm Christmas.
Since October, eh?
Yeah.
Starting in October.
For Greek seafarers, captains and chief engineers mostly, a big initiative is if you are from Chios. Okay. This is
you can change that.
You can change that. If you know people from Chios or you are from Chios, you are the best. It's their mentality. or the owner of the company is from here. It has to do with the culture a lot. You have to understand their culture.